We've got new developments tonight in the Delphi murders case. Suspect Richard Allen will be moving out of a state prison. That decision from the judge today ending 3 long days of arguments about issues critical to that trial. So Allen is accused of killing 14-year-old Libby German and 13-year-old Abby Williams back in 2017. Their families were in court for every moment during the last few days. Our Emily Longnecker was in court as well, where the hearings wrapped up late this evening. 12 hours of testimony from 11 witnesses. Emily?
Well, today we heard a lot of details about the crime scene, much of it very graphic. The defense presented witnesses to try and prove that the girls were victims of a pagan ritualistic killing. They identified alternative suspects who they say practiced these pagan beliefs, who they believe are responsible for the murders. They want a jury to hear about them. The state argued today to try and prevent that. A defense expert who specializes in symbols and ritualistic homicides told the court today, quote, "In my opinion, this is a textbook ritual murder." The expert based that on where the girls were killed, in the woods near water, how they were killed, and what she says were symbols left at the scene, sticks placed on the girls' bodies, and markings on a tree in one of the victims' blood. The expert testified in a ritual killing, it's believed a symbol made with a victim's blood holds magical powers. An expert for the state who specializes in blood spatter analysis testified he believed the markings on the tree came from one of the victim's hands, saying, quote, "The best explanation for the pattern on the tree was from a transfer stain." The defense also offered several alternate suspects they believe are responsible for the murders. All of them, according to the defense, practice a pagan religion tied to white supremacy. The defense offered as evidence a Facebook post from one of them, showing what the defense and investigators who looked at this person believed was a sketch mimicking the crime scene. That man's ex-wife testified he told her in 2018 while they were still married he knew who killed the girls and, quote, "I needed to keep my mouth shut. If I talked about it, they would kill me." But the prosecution argued while questioning some of the investigators who looked at these alternate suspects that none of them could be tied to Delphi or the crime scene on the day of the murders. Well, after a marathon day, Judge Francis Gall only ruled on one matter, and that is where Richard Allen will be held until trial. The defense wanted him moved from state prison to either a jail in Cass County or Tippecanoe County. Judge Gall ruled Allen should be turned over to the Carroll County Sheriff. But earlier this week, the Carroll County Sheriff, Tony Liggett, said they can't accommodate Allen in a jail here. The defense shared a letter from the sheriff in Cass County saying they could take Allen. Now, the Carroll County Sheriff not saying tonight where Allen will be going or when that will happen. No word on when we could expect a decision from Judge Gall on all the other motions discussed this week. In Delphi, Emily Longnecker, 13 News.
There were lots of motions filed and issues raised by both sides in the courtroom today. Our Karen Campbell talked with a local legal analysis about the big issues that she took away from those proceedings. Karen?
Well, Scott, defense attorney and legal expert Katie Jackson-Lindsay says there are some key things to consider. First, will the state be successful in getting the judge to allow Richard Allen's 61 alleged confessions as evidence for a jury? Allen's attorneys say those confessions were coerced and to some extent elicited by law enforcement.
And so to that end, Judge Gall has to now parse through each of those statements and determine whether there have been some conditions that have violated his rights in being able to get those confessions. And so the outcome of that ruling is extremely significant.
And second, will the defense be able to present evidence of an alternative theory that someone else committed the murders?
And so if the jury, after hearing all the evidence, determines there are two things that could have happened here. It could have been a ritualistic killing, or it could have been Richard Allen. They are going to be instructed by law that they have to choose the theory consistent with his innocence.
So again, a lot of questions still to answer before Allen's trial in October. Scott?
All right, Karen, thanks so much. And you can learn all about this big case before it goes to trial. Just scan this QR code. That'll take you right to WTHR.com/Delphi. And we posted all of our past coverage and our full reports from this week's hearing.